Hey everyone, it's great to see you. Welcome back. And today we're going to talk about Lake, game developed by Gamius, who I'm not so familiar with Gamius, and so I looked them up a little bit to learn about the company when I was doing some research for this game. And they're mostly a developer who made like small platformers, puzzle games, and I think they were mostly in the mobile space for a while. But this game was the result of kind of the studio heads' dream and goal to find a new concept project they wanted to work on. And one of their, I think, creative designers just brought forward a picture of a car driving near a lake. And with the concept being, as was quoted from one of the developers, anti-GTA almost, in the lens of we want to make something relaxing that you can just, take the time to catch a breath and enjoy a little bit of. And so that, of course, resulted in Lake here. And to give you a little bit of information from the box, so in the game, it's 1986, and Meredith, she's taking a little break from her career as a software developer. So I wonder if the game developers had some inspiration in the story concept overall. But anyways, her father is a mail carrier at a small town in Oregon, and she's taken some time off to go fulfill his role while he's on a little vacation. And essentially, the game talks a little bit about, all right, this is your own story to explore, time to go drive around the lake and deliver packages, essentially. And as you can see, quite nice of them, but they've included in the packaging here a map of the city. I believe Providence Oaks is the name. Yeah, Providence Oaks. One-sided map that shows you the town a little bit. Uh-oh, we're upside down. There we go. So you just got this like little circular town. I like this map because it kind of reminds me of the old GTA games. You got all these little ads on the side, as you can see, and so on. But as far as scalability goes, this does take a little bit to drive around. I'd say you could drive the whole thing in the game in I don't know, 7, 8, 9 minutes or something like that. So yeah, as I was saying about the story, he plays Meredith, software developer, taking a little time off work. I did really enjoy the story beats in this game overall because it's a very just laid back, just hang out and vibe kind of experience. And it takes place across 2 weeks where each day you get up and you have a set number of packages to deliver. And there's some recurring characters. There's a lumberjack, and there's an old woman with 10,000 cats, and there's a girl who's working at a mechanic, fixing vehicles and stuff that you'll see day in, day out, and you'll get to know them and talk with them. And that's a core part of the game, is just, you get up each day, you go drive to these locations, you have these little funny conversations or things come up and you have to help people figure them out. And that's about it. You're just vibing and you're just along for the ride. And so a big part of it is, when you get in the car, you go drive to the location. Sometimes I think the pacing of this game can match its narrative pace, which is very slow. When you're walking around as Meredith, she's just on a mission. She's just walking along, enjoying herself. And so when you get out of the vehicle, you're really, I think for me, trying to optimize how much space it takes for me to get to the door or get to the little mail carrier slot. And you won't have a huge amount of deliveries each day. I think it's somewhere in the 4 to 5 range on most days. But the actual experience of, getting out of the vehicle, walking to the back, opening it up and selecting the right package and taking it to the door and walking back and getting back in the vehicle. You'll do this time and time and time and time again. And actually, I didn't really care that there was repetitiveness in the gameplay itself. I think one of the things that was unfortunate was again, the speed at which you move throughout the title. The mail truck, though, can really pick up its pace quite a bit, and you can be flying along the roads, and there's no enforcement of road laws in this game. There's a lack of physics in the mail truck, like you can't just like drive off the side of the road and crash and flip. I know that's not the game the developers were going for, but it would have been really funny if you could do some of that. So the game is not particularly long. You can probably finish it in 6 hours, 7, 8 hours, pretty standard length, and you will do a lot of driving and getting out and walking to doors and getting back in. But another big piece of it is the narrative itself. I mean, Meredith has taken time out of her life to come out here and have this little 2-week vacation away, and she's really at this crossroads in her life where she could potentially become a partner at her firm, and move back to the big city, or there might be an opportunity Meredith decides I think I just want to do this, or other secret endings as well. So there's a few different endings, and a lot of it depends on how you interact with the characters in this world, and also the decisions you make along the way, where Meredith will have key points in the evenings where she gets on calls, or she reads a book, or so on and so forth. And these little aspects of the game will determine to some degree how Meredith kind of feels at the end of this journey, of course with the players' input along the way. Navigation in the game is super simple. I showed you the map. You get a map in game, and it shows you all the little packages on it that you need to deliver. And the actual navigation of getting from point A to B is really fun. I did enjoy kind of opening the map and looking around and saying, okay, I'll go down this road, go past one road, and then take a right, and then I have to go left into the neighborhood, and then of course you have to find specifically the address or whatnot on the building. And a lot of these are pretty clear and straightforward, and so that's good and convenient. Sound-wise, I don't remember anything in particular standing out. The voice acting was pretty good. There was no moments where I thought, oh, this is kind of cringe. So that was fine. And graphically, the game has kind of like it's a graphic adventure game, and it kind of has this really nice, I don't know, I'm not an art person. It's kind of like this nice matte pastel finish almost, where it's like clearly, obviously kind of drawn in a cartoony fashion, but with enough realism to make it stand out. I think the style is nicely represented in the cover art here of the game, but I did like it. I did like it overall, and it was nice to just park up somewhere and just sort of take in the Oregon vibes, so to speak. I think the game really did capture that. The game did have mixed reviews. I think a lot of people chiming in on, okay, it's the 80s. There's some aspects of this game that are LGBTQ adjacent, or the narrative doesn't hit on some of the historical beats of this time, so on and so forth. A lot of these things didn't really impact my enjoyment of the game. I really thought it was weird. I mean, if you look at the rating here, the game is rated M for mature. What about this game did I describe to you that would give it that rating? I mean, some of the games I play are like significantly more violent and dangerous compared to this. But the game has a little bit of language and some drug use, and because of that, they said, "Oh my God, this is so mature. We gotta keep it out of people's hands." Even though I can go play a Star Wars Jedi game and cut stormtroopers' hands off, and I'm pretty sure that they don't see it nearly as dangerous. Actually, don't know. It could be an M-rated game too. So, but so to speak, I thought the critics were a little harsh here. The game never advertised itself to be any more than what I described. And what I described is what you got. I mean, it's a great looking little game to go drive around in for a few hours, to enjoy Meredith's little story about, finding herself and finding out what she wants to do next with the rest of her life. And I think the game very much accomplished those things. And as I was mentioning before, it touching on some aspects of queerness, some aspects of, being identifying as LGBTQ in a small Oregon town in the 1980s. I think a lot of these touches were done in a good way, delicately and with thought. And so I don't think that leaving out some of the historical aspects of these communities in the 1980s is detrimental, especially since the developer is Dutch. And so their experiences in the 1980s were probably a little different on some of these views and on some of these situations. And so, yeah, kind of rambling here. Overall, just to hit on it again, the story, I really did like it. It was vibey. The gameplay, equally matched, but kind of slow at times. Fortunately, the game is only a handful of hours. But navigating and getting around and enjoying that world is a lot of fun. Voice acting is solid, and graphically, I really love the art style. I thought it was beautiful, and I did enjoy, again, a lot of what you get out of Meredith and the way in which the writers took the game. So that's what I felt about the game. Did you play Lake? If you liked it, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Oh, also, if you didn't like it, that's totally cool as well. But if you liked the video, I hope you please like the video. Would love for you to tune in and stick around for a little more in the future. And aside from that, appreciate your time and hope to speak with you again next time. Until then, take care.